I'm Sharon Young, and I'm the Country Director for Blue Ventures Conservation in Belize. So our mission is to work at the grassroots level, working with communities to help them thrive and protect the world's oceans. So Blue Ventures is a global organization. We support marine conservation across the world, and our program in Belize is focused on supporting fishing communities and their associations to advocate for their own rights. We started back in 2012, leading the efforts to tackle the lionfish invasion, and that has since evolved to now where we are working directly with fishers and fishing associations to equip them with the capacity that they need to advocate for their own rights in the fishing sector. So we believe that human rights and conservation are not competing interests. We believe that they're both equally important and they're both urgent to address. And so we also believe that communities, and most often the frontline communities who are struggling with the impacts of climate change, are best placed to solve the ocean crisis. So we work with these communities to help them, to equip them, to give them all the support that they need to implement the solutions that they have. Yeah, so climate change is wreaking havoc on our oceans. We are in a climate crisis. Our oceans are under threat, under serious pressure from pollution, from overfishing. Our reefs are sick, our fish is declining. We're losing mangroves and seagrass at alarming rates. And all of these things are impacting lives, they're impacting livelihoods, income and food for millions of people across the world. And so we think that by helping those communities who are the first defenders, who are at the front lines of this crisis, that we would be able to help them to adapt to the impacts of climate change. So our solutions is from that grassroots level. So our work in Belize started with supporting the efforts to address the invasion from lionfish. So lionfish came to this region back in the mid-80s, and the population just exploded. And it's harming our reefs, and it still is harming our reefs. And so we started to work with the local community in the north to figure out the best way and an easy way for the communities to help to remove the lionfish from our reefs. And that effort just expanded to the point where we were able to help the communities, providing them with training so that they can be involved in removing this invasive species. And in that way, we help to control the population of the lionfish in certain parts of the country and protect the reef. And we're now expanding that program to the central part of the country, and we hope to expand that in the south, working with fishing communities, working with protected areas managers, working with the fisheries department to bring that same method of removing lionfish from the reef throughout the rest of the reef in Belize. But we also are not just about lionfish. We are really working at the heart of the small-scale fishing sector with the communities who are extracting the fish from the reef, helping them to understand what's affecting the reef system and how they can play a role in saving and restoring the reef system that they are depending on. Yeah, so in addition to lionfish work, we are now evolving into a more supportive role for our fishing communities. and we've identified 2 communities that we have initiated some projects with. We're working with the Shunush Fisher Association in Shunush Village in Corzal, and we're working with the Wabafo Fishers Association in Dangriga. And what we're supporting them on is getting them better organized, supplying them with the training and the support that they need to build their capacity so that they can become an even more stronger, have an even more stronger presence in advocating for their own rights and in governance of the small-scale fishery. What we want to do and what we continue to do, what we are doing in other parts of the world and what we want to continue to expand in Belize and in this region is strengthening the role of community groups, of fishing associations in particular. And we encourage community residents who are involved in and want to be involved in supporting small-scale fishers to help them to get engaged with their organizations, become a member of an association, support the fishers. If fishers have any kind of education and outreach activity, please support them. If there is a law that is being passed that they need support on, partner with them, be a part of the voice with them in advocating and in making their voices heard on things that are affecting them. If they're involved in any initiative that is helping to mitigate their impacts from climate change, help them to the activities if they're engaged in beach cleanup, in mangrove restoration, in seagrass restoration. So try to understand what their solutions are, as we are trying to do, because we know that fishers are on the seas every day. They see what is happening, they know what is happening, they understand what is happening, so they obviously do have ideas, they have solutions on how to address overfishing, how to address illegal fishing, they know how to address pollution, they know how to address things that are affecting our reefs. And if we just listen to them and listen to their solutions and find ways to help them implement those solutions, then that is the best way that we can be able to show that we understand that it's only when we work from that perspective that those solutions would be sustainable over time, because we would be empowering those people who are at the front lines of the climate crisis to continue to implement those activities that will be saving our oceans. Our approach is really bottom-up. We work at the grassroots level. We want to make sure that we are equipping those people, those communities who are the most vulnerable and who need the support the most, equipping them with what they need to defend themselves, what they need to thrive. So we know that that appeals to people because we all love to eat fish. We all depend on our seafood for nourishment, and we are enthused when we have people who see that same vision and who understands and share that same value. And so if you are interested in helping the ocean, if you find value in helping people to help themselves, if you want to see our fishers thrive, if you want to save the reef, if you want to play your part in restoring the ocean, in helping the planet to heal, then let us start with those people who are at the front lines. Let us start with helping them to help save the seas. But I just want to really share that this organization is very different. We operate from that perspective, as I've explained. We really want to show that the solutions are right here. They're right in those communities, right in this community of Hopkins, right in these fishing communities. And if we just listen to them and understand where they're coming from, understand how important fishing is to them from a cultural perspective, how important fishing is to them from a local economic perspective, and put them first, then we would be able to have solutions that are sustainable. So we care about the ocean, we care about the corals, we care about the environment, but we also care about people. And we believe that both are equally important. And if we can address both together, and it can be done, we would be able to continue to save our oceans.